Hello, today I want to tell you why randomness is good in Gwent and what cards do it best. So let's start with the obvious statement. Why is randomness actually good? Well, randomness promotes interesting game states, unexpected situations that promotes diversity throughout your gameplay. So for example, Nature's Rebuke will always kill a 5-power thing, but something like Pyrotech might hit something that you don't want it to hit, or it might really pay off for you. So let's talk a bit about Pyrotech and why I think it's probably the best example of randomness done right. Damage a random enemy unit by and self by 4. Basically, it's going to lob a 4-point bomb at somebody. As a player, I can put it down. It's an order ability, so my opponent knows this randomness is coming. My opponent can try to put something that's worth less than 4 points. That way, if Pyrotech picks it and hits it, they're not going to get the 4. They're not going to lose 4 points. They might lose 1 to 2. On the other hand, as the player of Pyrotech, I can benefit if I'm able to thin out my opponent's units. Make sure they have no low point units, so I get the full value off the 4. Or if I wanted to pick off something in particular, try to kill other units to increase the odds of it hitting in the right place. This card single-handedly makes the board state a more interesting place, and rewards both players for playing around it. That's awesome. And then ultimately, there's that magic moment where you click the Pyrotech, and all of a sudden, boom, it explodes, and both players have to react. That's so good. That's so good. Let's use a bad example of randomness. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune on paper sounds really good. It's 5 damage for 5. It's payday, but if you want to double down, you can gamble. What's the problem with Wheel of Fortune? Wheel of Fortune does not give you a way to rig the result at all. You have no additional control over it. That means that you might really high roll or low roll on this card, and everyone's going to feel cheated in one way or another. If I hit a 10, I'm going to feel like a god, and my opponent's going to be like, what the heck? If I had a 1, I just probably threw the game. My opponent's going to be like, yeah, that's what you get for running Wheel of Fortune. That's a bad example. A dangerous example, and I think you can see the correction here, is Iris's Companions. Draw a card of your choice and discard a random card is very powerful, but all too often will get rid of the card it draws or another key card, making it a terrible choice of a card. But now, boom, CDBR comes in here with the Iris in hand to choose which card to discard instead. All of a sudden saying, look, we get it. The randomness was not controllable. You had no influence there. Let me give you an out. I will reward you if you run Iris, which makes it more interesting. Now, you'll start seeing this paired up with things like Iris Shade, or maybe in certain decks, even Iris just as a low way to get an Iris card into your hand. But that's more interesting, a little bit of control over the randomness, which I think is key. If the randomness is a meaningful choice, you want control. Another great example is Master Mirror, but for the opposite reason. It is okay to have cards which are over the top, where the payoff to everybody's pretty wild. This card is going to get me a legendary card. Most of them are going to be pretty good. When I play Skellige, good old Casino Lippy, pretty much every card that's not named Blood Eagle or the Getty is going to be something I want in my hand and can actively use in most circumstances. So I have a bit of control there. I know that my deck can handle most of them, and I can build, I can put in Gutting Slash and Crow's Eye to make sure if I hit Vavjorn and Ermion, that they have things I can tutor out from my deck. Searching up an Alchemy card in Crow's Eye, or searching up the Gutting Slash from my deck. I can kind of manipulate Master Mirror with my deck building. And it adds a lot of chaos to the game, and there are players who like that. It's interesting. It's also answerable. It only triggers one time, and my opponent can kill it if they want. You monster. Randomness, at its best, is something that both players can influence and control. You want people rigging the die. You don't want Wheel of Fortune coming down and just being like, YOLO. Easy fix here. Go ahead and increase the low end here by the number of cut-ups you control to a certain degree. Maybe if I have 3 cut-ups, minimum's 5. Or just say +1 for every cut-up I control. Or +1 for every cut-up card I've cast this game. Lots of ways to fix this. Let people have control. And that's my thoughts on randomness. Let me know if you like randomness or dislike it down below. What do I miss? I look forward to talking with you all again soon. Take care. Shoutouts to super patrons Ahmed Ali and Pamzosaurus. Thank you so much for all the support.